Because why are you spending hours flat ironing your hair just for it to frizz up minutes later? Hi everyone, it's Shavonda. I'm a licensed hairstylist, and today I'm walking you through a detailed silk press tutorial that'll take your flat ironing skills to the next level. You've probably seen silk presses that look super sleek, shiny, and move like water. Well, today I'm going to show you exactly how to get that finish without damaging your hair. By the end of this video, you'll know the flat iron techniques that I use, the best products for heat protection and shine, and tips to avoid the common mistakes that leave your hair looking fried. Stick around. I promise this is the last silk press tutorial you'll ever need. Now, a flawless silk press isn't just about the flat iron. It's the entire process, starting with the shampoo, conditioning, and blow dry. But the flat ironing part, that's where the real magic happens, and we'll dive deep into that. As I mentioned before, your shampoo, conditioning, and blow dry are critical. I always start with a clarifying shampoo to remove any buildup, followed by a hydrating shampoo and a moisturizing conditioner to soften the hair. You don't want to skip the moisture and hydration steps because dry hair plus flat irons equal a disaster, okay? Trust me on that. Then I use a leave-in conditioner with heat protection, blow dry using a concentrator on my nozzle. Remember, your blow dry needs to be smooth and take care of the heavy lifting, and the flat iron is going to take care of the rest. Before you even pick up your flat iron, heat protectant is non-negotiable. This is your shield against heat damage. My go-to heat protectant is Design Essentials Silk Essentials. It adds shine, helps with frizz, and most importantly, keeps your hair healthy during the flat iron process. Avoid using oil-based products before flat ironing. These can essentially fry your hair. Stick with a lightweight spray or serum that's specifically designed to protect hair from heat. Sectioning is a game changer, and the smaller the sections, the better. Why? Because smaller sections ensure each strand gets enough heat for a smooth, straight finish. Large chunks will leave you with uneven results, and you'll feel the urge to go over the same section multiple times, which is a huge no-no. I recommend working in 1/2 to 1 inch sections starting at the nape of your neck. Clip away the rest of the hair so that it's out of the way. One thing I see all the time is that people flat iron using huge sections at once. This won't give you that silky smooth finish you're aiming for. You'll end up with puffy roots and flat ends, not the look we're going for. Speaking of roots, I like to use a pencil sliced flat iron for that area. This allows me to get closer to the scalp without burning the client. Now let's talk about the temperature on your flat iron. This is so important. Using too much heat will fry your hair, and using too little won't give you the sleek results you want. In the salon, I stick to temperatures around 360 degrees. I usually don't go any higher than that, but you can start with natural hair anywhere between 350 degrees to 370 degrees. If your hair is fine or chemically treated, stay within the 330 to 350 degree range. But if you have thicker or coarser hair, you might need to bump it up to 400, but never higher than that. Extreme heat can damage your hair's cuticle beyond repair. Now we're getting into the actual flat iron process. One technique I swear by is the chase method. This is where you use a fine tooth comb right before the flat iron, literally chasing the comb with the iron. The comb helps to detangle each section as the flat iron follows, which allows for even straightening. Here's how you do it. Grab a 1/2 to 1 inch section of the hair, hold it tight, and place your comb at the root. Slowly follow the comb with your flat iron, maintaining steady pressure all the way down the strand. The chase method ensures each strand is detangled and smooth before the heat is applied. This gives you a sleek, straight finish in just one pass. No need to keep going over the same section. One pass is all you need if you're using the chase method correctly and your sections are small. If you find yourself needing 2 or 3 passes, your section might be too large or your flat iron isn't hot enough. Going over the same section too many times can lead to heat damage. Let's talk about edges. The edges are tricky for a lot of people. You want them smooth, but not burnt or stiff. I recommend using the edge of your flat iron and a rat tail comb to gently smooth out your edges without putting too much heat on them. Don't press the flat iron directly onto your scalp. I know some people try to get those edges super straight by pressing the iron right against their skin, but that's a recipe for breakage and burns. Once you flat iron your entire head, it's time to go in for the finishing touches. I like to use a lightweight serum or a tiny bit of oil for added shine or to seal in moisture. My current favorite product is Verb's Ghost Oil. It's a lightweight hydrating serum, and it adds shine without weighing the hair down. Be mindful of how much product you're using. A dime-sized amount is usually more than enough for the whole head. Dispense the product in your hand, emulsify it, and use your fingertips to focus on the ends of the hair. Too much product will leave your hair looking greasy instead of silky. Now, if you wear your hair straight, then that's where this stops. But if you want to add a little movement to your silk press, you can lightly bump the ends or do a slight curl with your flat iron, or just go all out and do a head full of curls. This will give your hair some body and bounce. Your silk press should last at least a week or two if properly maintained. Here's how to keep it looking fresh in between washes. Wrap your hair at night with a silk or satin scarf to preserve the smoothness. If you're wearing curls, use pin curls or flexi rods, but still cover it with a silk or satin scarf or bonnet. Avoid heavy oils or creams that can weigh down your hair or cause it to revert. If you notice frizz or puffiness starting to return, you can lightly touch up your roots with a flat iron. Just once. Be careful not to overdo it. I would say embrace the puffy roots and then wear your hair in a style where volume is expected, such as a flexi rod on the straight hair, or a braid out or bantu knots that you take down to have texture. When you silk press your hair, never skip heat protectant. This is a must. Protect your hair from heat at all costs every single time you use heat on your hair. Don't flat iron wet or damp hair. Always make sure your hair is 100% dry before using a flat iron. Damp hair and flat irons equal major damage. Also, in your quest for sleek hair, resist the urge to over sections multiple times. You need to make your partings thinner or your blow dry was trash. One pass is enough if you prep your hair correctly. I know we love to use oils, but oils and serums should be used sparingly, especially after you've finished your silk press. Too much can lead to greasy, weighed down hair, and we want our hair bouncy and flowy. Another tip that I forgot to mention is use enough tension where the flat iron can do what it's supposed to do. Not too much, not too little, and don't rush the flat iron down the hair shaft. Give it enough time to soak the hair out and smooth it and bring it down as you see me doing in this video. And there you have it. This is the ultimate silk press tutorial done right. I hope this tutorial helps you achieve the sleek, shiny results you've been wanting while keeping your hair healthy, because that's our #1 priority. Remember, a great silk press is all about the right prep, using the right technique, and protecting your hair at every step. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button and make sure to subscribe for more hair care tips and tutorials. Let me know in the comments what other hair topics you'd love to see, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.